Today in History. It's April 16th, and we're going to continue with our journey to the past.
We are. We have two events to share with our listeners today. But before we get to that, of course, we have our quiz, and here it is. One of Charlie Chaplin's best-known trademarks was his number 1, mustache, or number 2, lips. Okay, one more time. One of Charlie Chaplin's best-known trademarks was his number 1, mustache, or number 2, lips. If you know the answer, please put it on our Bundy board, or you can also text it in on your cell phone, pounder sharp 1045 for 51 to win a Lock and Lock Eco Mug Cup.
So for sure, we are going to be talking a little bit about Mr. Charlie Chaplin, and there's one more historic person. So here's a short list.
Today in history. In 1867, Wilbur Wright was born. And in 1889, Charlie Chaplin was born.
So today we commemorate the birth of two very innovative figures in history and who literally changed the course of history and set the foundations to their respective field. Right? And first we have a man who, along with his brother, opened the field of aviation.
You're absolutely right. The Wright brothers, right? Wilbur Wright, of the Wright brothers, of course, was born on this day in 1867. And if you haven't heard of the Wright brothers, well, get ready for this. They're the ones you should thank the next time you travel in a plane.
Interesting. Okay. So the Wright brothers were the first to successfully accomplish one of humanity's most sought-after dreams, and that is to be able to fly.
Flight, exactly. Yeah, it was on October 5th, 1905, when Wilbur made history with the Wright Flyer 3 by flying 38.9 kilometers in 39 minutes and 23 seconds, thus introducing the first ever practical aircraft to the world.
와, 1905년 10월 5일 이 윌버는 Wright Flyer 3 이 기로 38.9km를 39분 23초간 비행한 기록을 가지고 있군요. Well, needless to say, the field of aviation opened a whole new world, of course, and possibilities, the same way as our next historic figure opened and reshaped the world of movies.
That's right. He was, of course, Sir Charles Spencer Chaplin, better known as Charlie Chaplin, one of the 100 most important people of the 20th century, according to Time magazine. And by the way, Chaplin was the first actor to ever have been featured on the magazine. Here's the cover in 1925. You can see it in Point and Radio right now. Interesting, right?
Right, but Chaplin was not just a comic actor. Actually, he was an institution himself. He became the most recognizable figure in the world. Well, even now, people who have never watched a Chaplin movie can easily recognize him.
Absolutely.
And this, of course, is due to his trademark image, the tramp with the mustache, cane, and bowler hat.
There you go. Now, his legacy in the film industry has been incomparable. He was not only a world-renowned actor, but also a producer. He was a writer. He was a director, and even a composer, too.
Composer, too?
A composer, too. Let's check out a clip of one of his songs.
So this song was composed by Charlie Chaplin
By Charlie
himself.
Chaplin, yeah. He was an accomplished musician himself and often reissued his silent films with music that he had actually composed. Yeah, we were hearing that in the background, a tune called This Is My Song by Charlie Chaplin.
I see. Well, in fact, his skills as a composer earned him an Academy Award, well, which is ironic considering the fact that he didn't take home the Oscar for acting, take home an Oscar for acting or directing. 그런데 그 뮤직 composing 한 것으로 오스카상을 했다고 하니까 대단하네요. Well, he did, however, receive an honorary Oscar in 1972.
And there he is receiving that in that photo, right?
He looks quite different without the mustache or the bowler hat and cane.
Yeah, he totally looks different. Now, many people actually mistakenly believe that he was an American citizen, but Charlie Chaplin was British.
He was.
That's right, and despite his enormous contribution to Hollywood, he never actually became a U.S. citizen.
그냥 미국 시민권을 취득할 수도 있었을 텐데 그렇게 하지 않았군요. Well, you know what? Another misconception was he is eyes. Well, since most of his movies were made in black and white, he was thought to have brown eyes. Well, when in reality were very, very blue. Is that
Look,
Charlie Chaplin?
That's Charlie Chaplin on 보이는 라디오. Wow, he was a good-looking guy.
He is. 아니 이제까지 저 잘생긴 얼굴을 그 코수염으로 또 모자로 가리고 있었던 거군요. 지금 보이는 라디오를 통해서 찰리 채플린의 젊은 날의 모습을 보여드리고 있습니다.
Wow, really interesting. Now, you might wonder, where did he get all the inspiration to become an accomplished film star, right?
Yes. Well, when he was a child, he became very ill and he was confined to a bed for weeks. And during that time, his mother would act out what was going on outside. And it was her mother's performances that inspired him to become a comedian. 어머, 세상에.
So he grew up to become the actor that he watched his mother,
Right.
the acting he watched his mom do when he was sick as a child.
네.
That's wonderful. I'd never heard that story before.
me neither.
Wow. Well, really interesting things about Charlie Chaplin that we
Okay.
learned today. And that's going to do it for Today in History. Before we wrap it up, the answer to the quiz question, it was one of Charlie Chaplin's best-known trademarks was his, and the answer, number one, mustache. Gidok, it is Bokenbach time. After this song, Matthew will be joining us for Matthew